Man, what a day. I know it was eventful because Short Fat Otaku did something. I don't know what, but let me read you one of my DMs, right? So I'm sitting here by myself, and all of a sudden, this person that I don't even recognize, they never contacted me before, decides to write to me. And believe it or not, I actually do check most of my DMs. And let me see what they asked. Give me a second. I'll find it. Hi V, what is going on with Dev? Why is he like this? You know, and the problem is, I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, pardon me, V, but I just have to ask what happened to Dev. Why is he acting this way? Another guy. And I think my answer to this guy, because I've been thinking since the first one asked. So I told the second he's been watching Destiny. That's the only thing that I could come up with. He's watching Destiny, and Adam and Stitch, and he's got crazy takes. Speaking of Destiny, apparently he got demonetized on Twitter. Elon Musk personally demonetized him. I wouldn't be surprised if Elon Musk actually went into the office of Trust and Safety, sat on the computer, put his hand on the mouse, moved the cursor, and demonetized Destiny himself. He has been tweeting some vile stuff. I don't agree with Destiny being demonetized. I think like he should be amplified. I think like every person who opens Twitter should be able to see Destiny's tweets. Every person, regardless of age, gender. Okay, maybe not minors. Maybe not minors because he was tweeting some gore. Not him personally. He was retweeting it. But it was like someone I think like tweeted to him the benches with blood from one of the participants to the speech, to the rally, the firefighter, and they were like, okay, so you think like this is a bad person, and Destiny was very insulting towards that, right? Like, he retweeted it, and that's why he lost his monetization. He said some vile stuff that I can't even repeat here. But basically what he said in ways that I can frame it, he doesn't feel sorry for the loss of human life. He believes that Donald Trump tried an insurrection because of the false electors that he was sending to quote unquote steal the election. And because of that, he views him as an insurrectionist. So, like, anything that can happen to him is perfectly justified. And if you support him, you support the end of democracy. So that, by extension, anything that happens to his supporters is also justified, right? So like, if you're a conservative, if you're a MAGA, if you're a Republican, according to Destiny, he doesn't value your life at all. It's not just jokes. Like, he actually means it. He went out of his way in order to articulate that he actually means what he says. So the problem isn't Destiny, right? Because he's just a talking head, but there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people that agree with him. And the thing is, like, this is the hilarious thing. You know, I'm sitting here, and I'm like, okay, so you have, like, people that are justifying political assassination on Twitter. And you want me to expect that they're willing to justify and glorify that, but they wouldn't steal an election? Like, they draw the line at that, you know? Like, that is the point where they draw a line. It's like, okay, well, stealing, no. Jeez. The thing with it, because I was thinking, it's not really like Trump. Like what they're trying to say is that the policies of right-wingers are completely unacceptable to them. So you, as a conservative in the United States, do not deserve a representative. And if you do try to represent the grievances of right-wingers, they're basically saying that anything bad is on the table. Hi V, hope all is well besides the 713 and the media downplaying a little Minecrafting event. If people are shocked by the left, I'm like, where you've been, dude? Yeah, no, like I tried explaining the left to other content creators like Dev, And I don't know if they get it, but it's like, look, the left in the United States right now, what they are concerned with is primarily wealth extraction. Like, they want to take the wealth from hardworking people, and then they want to redistribute that wealth to themselves and to their special interest groups. That is their purpose. They do not care about the country. They only care about the nation as an economic zone where transactions happen, and people are human resources, completely replaceable, like cogs in a machine. They do not have a lore. They do not have a mythos. They do not have like a story, something that they're fighting for. No. The only thing that they care about is wealth extraction, and right after that is to maintain their power, because they can only extract wealth as long as they're in power. And I'm talking about the individual person. Like, when they say voting doesn't matter, it does matter, because John, who happens to be a Democrat, he needs his fat ass on that seat so he can gorge himself on taxpayer money. When John loses that seat, he doesn't get to gorge himself on your taxpayer money, and that makes John very, very sad. So, with this in mind, you realize, okay, so like, what are they willing to do to maintain power? And the answer is everything. Everything, right? So like, when you have them, like, but they wouldn't, no, they would. No, they would. You need to understand, like, their principle, their prime directive is to maintain power so that they can keep wealth extracting. And in order to maintain power, they would, yes, like, they would be hypocrites, they would lie, they would do anything, right? But you have, like, people that are used to the old ways of doing politics, where you had decorum, where you had, like, I guess, like, people that didn't read from a prompter, people that actually spoke from the heart, and people that were able to debate, and they actually did have principles. So, when you're thinking like that, you're like, well, surely they wouldn't. But the answer is yes, they would. They absolutely would. Like, what do you not understand? They would definitely, 100% they would. V, if you release your game this year, it's top 5 game of the year by default. I think it is, because there haven't been that many games coming up. Dev is a statist. Trump isn't against a statist style of government, hence Dev's hatred. I think like Destiny. I think Dev watches Destiny videos. I am so fucking convinced on this. I haven't talked to him about it. But I would be shocked, I tell you, if that's not the case. The divide has gotten far worse. Well, when you have a person like Destiny, which goes out of his way to say, oh, if a person that's at a MAGA rally gets shot, he doesn't care, right? And then he goes on and calls that person a retard and is very insulting to the point that he gets demonetized on Twitter. How do you reconcile with that? How do you make peace with that? Like how can you cohabitate with a neighbor that thinks this way about you? Like, I don't know. Like, how do you heal this divide? The genuine problem with Dev is that he works in a theoretical model, not in reality. Oh, I do think he's like the best not in my backyard that the world can ever create. So, most of the thing, that, like, he is living in Canada in his ivory tower away from all the shit, so... To be fair, like, I am living away from all the shit as well, but I do have this thing called empathy, and I remember me and Discordia just trying to talk to Dev, and we were telling him, it's like, look, the cost of living is going up. Like, we're paying a lot more for shit than we used to. And he was like, oh, but maybe it's like the misinformation online. Like, maybe the economy is good, but like, people are misinformed from what's online. Because the government was telling him that the economy is fine. And David Pacman was telling him that the economy is fine. And they had like all these mental gymnastics and all these economists explaining why the economy is perfect. And like, motherfucker, the grocery bill. The fucking grocery bill. And he was like, well, maybe it's your area. You know, that's your lived experience. It's like, no, it's not my fucking lived experience. Almost everyone goes to the grocery store that I go. But like, no, you know, you got individuals that if it's not from an authoritative source, they do not fucking believe you. Unless the television says it. It's literally the Joe Biden effect, right? So, like, the Joe Biden effect is that the moment Joe Biden goes and has the debate and people notice that he has a senior moment, that's when people, oh my god, oh goodness, does he have cognitive decline? And I'm like, no, I mean, for the last 4 years, he was just perfect. It's just this debate, he was tired. Actually, no, hold on. There's a Dungeons and Dragons skit with me and Dev just doing literally that. Like Dev comes up and he's like, you guys, did you see that a psychologist said that Joe Biden is in cognitive decline? And I'm like, yeah, we knew. We knew for the last 3 fucking years. Like, we've been watching. Like, we're political commentators. We watch clips. We know. But I guess, again, like, unless the television says it, unless Destiny makes a video. God. Hope your little gypsy is doing well. Well, he's not a gypsy, but he's very young. It's like, I think he's 7 days old. Yeah, I think he may have a week now. Or 8 days old. I have lost count. But, yeah, all he does is he eats and he sleeps. Which is what's expected. The babies are not fun until they're more older. Like, I think, like, you can start playing with them when they're, like, 4 months, 5 months old. Up until that point, medically speaking, they don't even see you unless you're really close. They don't see colors. Their hearing is kind of fine, but they don't have motor function. So, yeah, it's just like an eating and a sleeping machine. So, it's not really... How should I put it? Like, it's not really capable of playing with you. Besides making the Don look like a badass, one thing I saw nobody saying is that the media will have to tone down on the Trump derangement syndrome. I don't know if they will, but you know what I noticed? And this is a friend of mine that noticed as well. Like, it's really interesting. So, you look at the rally, and you look at some of the soldiers there that were acting like NPC. You know, the guys that were dressed like they're playing Call of Duty. And they were doing like their NPC walk and patrolling. And they were doing like the badass thing. They had their guns and the sunglasses. And they were just walking around. And they had like the muscles on and everything. And the women in the front row, man, they were salivating after those guys. They were absolutely salivating after those guys that were dressed in military gear. And they weren't like supermodels, right? Like, they weren't incredibly jacked. They weren't like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, they were like soldiers, right? They weren't unfit. But they weren't like bodybuilders either. Like, they were just like average soldier looking dudes. And the women were absolutely salivating. And this like shows the difference into male and female sexuality that the left refuses to even acknowledge that it exists. Because when you know, the way a man likes to express his sexuality is usually to look at sexy naked women, right? That have like a very sensual body language, right? They show cleavage, they show ass. And the left goes like, oh, how would you like it if the roles were reversed, blah, 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 if men were looking like that? And the response is that women actually do not care that much. Like women do not express their sexuality in the same way. They do not like to oogle at naked men. What women like is a man in a uniform. Like, the uniform makes the man. And I noticed this when I was in university. And this is a tip for you guys if you haven't found a significant other and you're still trying to date. Take a picture and put it on your profile with you wearing a uniform. So like, it doesn't matter what it is. If you don't have a uniform, wear a suit. But wear something that's associated with a respectable profession. Right? So like, if you wear a lab coat, if you wear a firefighter uniform, if you wear a police... Like if you're actually that thing, right? Like, if your profession is associated with that, use your work clothes for your dating profile. It actually works wonder. It's not necessarily like about the status. I don't know what it is, but women do like that shit, right? So it is. Dude, Destiny made the fox cry by proxy live. Oh my god, did Kirshek cry because of Destiny? That's actually hilarious. So anyway, Garbage Man. Uh, you know, the funny part is that garbage men are actually paid very well. Like, you might get a gold digger. I don't know how much they're paid in America, but in Romania, wow. Like, being a garbage man is really well paid. You get like a lot of bonuses. You get a hazard bonus, you get hazard pay, you get in Romania we actually have like a bonus for shame, because it's considered like being a garbage man. It's degrading, it's demeaning, right? So like they will give you an extra bonus for that. Very few people know. Like, they laugh at the garbage man, but it's actually a very well paid job. Zanofium, holy shit, thank you for the 50. For the groceries, the little V, and the best remorse on the internet. Wish you all the best in pulling Dev back from the brink. Oh, I even stopped trying, man. Like, when he goes into his little crusade, there's no stopping him. I just don't talk to him about politics. That's my solution to the problem. Yeah, like he's got his trip. Like, he's going to fight with half the internet if he needs to. He doesn't care. Just wait for the Temple podcast. He will say at least 1 million times Civil War. Oh my god. Oh god. Let me hold on. No. I need to go on his channel and check it. You're so fucking right.
Emory University economics professor.
What is it called? The Stimcast, right? Timcast IRL. Alright, this is the one. He hasn't called a civil war yet, but his last video was also ages ago, so it was like 2 days ago, which is ages in internet time. Yeah, no, he's not doing the civil war thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does. Suka Trolling, thank you for the $20. Dev is acting like a communist again. How have you been doing? I have been avoiding Dev as much as I can. She was watching a video where he claimed that he would sleep without problems if his own parents would have been behind the Orange Man. Yeah, no, like, here's my take with Destiny. I don't know if it's nice to say this. But I do think that the divorce affected him. I think like the divorce unironically affected him. I don't say that it's a way to excuse him or anything like that, but I think it justifies where a lot of the malice and hatred is coming from. I think it's like in a fucking all type of attitude, so he doesn't care about tone policing himself. And also, I will tell you something else, okay? The left right now, they understood just as well as we did that the moment the failed assassination happened, Trump probably won the election. Like, unless something happens, which is unlikely, he's most likely going to win the election. And they are coping with that. They gotta internalize that shit. And they're desperate. They just don't know what to do, right? So I think this is where they're at. Now, the problem that I have is that, my God, you know, you guys are probably young and you never met evangelicals before. But they were just as annoying as the social justice activists, right? Like the evangelicals, which were like, oh my god, you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. That game is from Satan. Oh, you're watching this movie. It said damn in it. Oh, we need to send... Those people, right? The fact that the bullet managed to avoid Trump by 0.4 seconds with him turning his head, there is so much religious symbolism in that. Holy shit. And I think we're going to get the religious moral busybodies back. I don't think we're going to get the 90s, chat. I think we're going to get the satanic panic again. Oh, God. It is what it is, you know. But, I don't think cancel culture is going away. No. I do not think that we're going to witness awesome TV shows, awesome movies, good no. It's gonna be shit. Yeah, the 80s and the 90s, the crazy Christians were so obnoxious. Yeah. Those who know. Like, look, I'm not saying all Christians are like that. But, okay, let me show you. Hold on, just so you know what I'm talking about. Right?
Anna
Like,
Maria.
this is an American product. The moral busybodiness, like, no country in Europe can do it as well as the United States. Like, you guys are proficient in creating individuals like this.
I think she's here. She's here.
No way.
Hey, Bonnie. Where's that Lord? Oh, no. So dork-sided. What? Dork-sided. Not of God. It's not Christians. Did you not ask if she believed in God? She's not a Christian.
She could be a Jew and believe in
It
God.
doesn't matter. She's tampering in dark-sided stuff. Yes, she did. The entire house is dark-sided.
She said her whole house is...
She is dark-sided too. Why are you mad at us? This is my house. I want no money. I want nothing. I want my God and I want my family. This is tainted. I don't want it. Whatever it is, it's tainted. Whatever it is you give it me, I give it up to God. I'm a God warrior, and I don't want someone with tainted any.
You think that this is a caricature? I knew people like this in my fucking life. I don't want them to return. I don't want them to return, chat. And if you actually follow the story of this lady, she became an LGBT activist. She was parading on the LGBT activism. Because these people, the moral busybody ones, they're attracted to any fucking ideology that has authoritarianism. They latch onto it like they need it, they crave it in their life so that they can have power over other people! Yeah, it's just like... I do think, like, those individuals are gonna make a comeback, and I know, like, Christians aren't like that. On average. But my fucking God, the exceptions. My fucking God, the exceptions, they're like, moral busybody should be silenced. Silencing a moral busybody is a societal good. I am honestly amazed that they blinked first and went with that card. This brings such a cause belly for the right. It does. Hello V, how is my favorite gypsy troll today? The amount of VTubers going full TDS is disturbing. Check out how tricky large VTuber fucked up. Man, I don't follow VTubers anymore because I'm making my video game. But yeah, I do imagine that a lot of VTweeters are like that. From dad to a dad. Thank you for the 25 Polish zloty, Mateos. Do you guys remember Jesus Camp? Hold on, let me show you, just so you can understand what the fuck we're talking about.
Okay, we're going to welcome Mr. President now. Well, talk to him. Say, welcome, welcome, President Bush. We're glad you're here. I want you to bless him. Speak a blessing to him. Would you do that? Reach your hand to speak a blessing to him. Do some warfare over him. Do some warfare. He has surrounded himself with spirit-filled people. So pray in the spirit over him.
As he taxes you, as he taxes your father, bless him to tax your daddy more. And make it difficult for you to get on an airplane. Here is some Canada box to buy you a plush for your mini V. It's too small. It just can't see the plush. She's a KFC waya. I don't want those times back, chat. I don't want those times. At least with the social justice activists, I know how to argue with, you know? But if those people come back, I would have to, like, bring back the Bible, start reading from it, because, like, there's a different way you talk to them than how we talk to a leftist. Oh, and they come after the porn one day. Oh, shit. Oh, God. They're obsessed with it, aren't they? Oh, it's a boobie, it's a cleavage. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, it's a cleavage on the internet. Oh, no. Jesus don't like. Oh, yeah. MasterCard. The boobie. To be honest, at least they can form an alliance with the left. You know, that's how they meet with the leftist. It's like, oh, the boobie on the internet. I'm just... Oh, fuck. You think they will go after violent video games? Oh no, Christian busybodies, how awful. I remember all the power they had and all the things they canceled, like D&D video games. And no way they didn't. They were annoying but had no teeth, unlike now. They did cancel a lot of shit, man. You just probably don't know about it because you didn't have social media back then. But they would write letters of concern to many companies. Dungeons and Dragons got canceled in the fact that they actually removed demons from the game for a while. The power that they wielded wasn't really directed to entertainment because back then... it wasn't directed to video games. Because back then, video games were new. They were considered a toy. Like, no one gave them attention. They weren't mainstream. But they didn't cancel cartoons. Like, you weren't allowed to show blood in kids' cartoons. You weren't allowed to show death in kids' cartoons. The most edgy cartoon imaginable was Batman because it had the Joker, which could quote-unquote kill people by making them have a big smile on their face. Like, the Joker toxin was, like, the most edgy thing. But they would censor comics. They didn't allow, like, any... Like, all the comics from today would not have been approved then because of blood and violence. Or they wouldn't allow the villain to win, even temporarily. They wouldn't allow anti-heroes and stuff like that. No, but you know, like, the thing was that they were so obnoxious to have in your life. Like, I actually had a couple of these piety warriors in my life, and having to sit with them at the family table while they constantly judged. Like, they constantly judged everyone around them. They would judge you, like, non-stop. And no one was good enough because they judged everybody at the table to the point where you're wondering, like, is there a human on earth that these people would be happy with? If I were to bring Jesus at the table, they would judge him for, like, whipping the merchants in the fucking temple, and even Jesus wouldn't be good enough for them. I do not like those individuals, like the type of people that always look outside rather than within, that always have to complain about others when their life is so shit. Like, I could bring an entire fucking rap sheet on the bad things that they did, but that would be, like, whataboutism. No. Moral grandstanders will always be around. Yeah, but, like, America produces the best. Unironically, I do not think Europe is capable enough to produce a moral grandstanding as much as... No, you know what? I take it back. Britain, right? Like Britain number one, America number two. America, I'm sorry, you're number two. Britain produces some of the best moral grandstanders. America number two. The Soviet Union number three. Like the Soviet Union would produce some of like the biggest assholes imaginable, and they were called the commissars, right? Like those were the three major countries producing of moral busybodies on earth. Many are apolitical and just follow the trends. As much as the old Christians were cringe, think they did have more standing. I also know some were psyops. Yeah, no, like the Christians actually did have more standing, right? Like the Christians actually believed in something. So they would be like, well, I'm saying this because that's in the Bible. But with the progressive, you don't even have that. And Christians actually did practice forgiveness, right? Like if you actually say, oh, I'm repenting, I'm now blah blah blah, they would be actually willing to forgive. So yeah, between like a social justice activist and a Christian, I would take the Christian, but I would prefer to just not have moral busybodies around. You know, like unless you're part of my family, unless you're part of my circle of friends, unless I know you personally, I do not give a shit. So what we have now, but in a different flavor, yes. Jackass, Bomb Fights, Ren and Stimpy, South Park, Heavy Metal Comics, Doom, Carmageddon, even more were in the 90s. Yeah, but like the reason they were in the 90s is because people were fed up with their parents that were incredibly religious. So, like, people felt the need to go and watch edgy shit. Like, a lot of people that I was with were listening to heavy metal specifically because mom and dad didn't like it. You still can't have blood, smoking, etc. in games to be able to be sold in China. Oh, it's not just China, man. There's a lot of country, like, if you have any alcohol in your game, it's banned. So what they do is like, it's not alcohol, it's herbal medicine, you know? They do it in Street Fighter. He doesn't drink alcohol, he drinks herbal medicine. It's not drugs, it's what do they call it? Energy dust. It's energy dust. Germany is one of the most authoritarian countries that cracks down on freedom of expression and art. Basically in Germany, every single type of media, whether it's a movie, a TV show, a video game, it has to be evaluated by its censors. And then they give a rating. It's like PG, rated T for teens, mature, adult, and banned, right? So in order to get that rating, you actually have to pay around like 2,000 euros or some shit. And no one wants to do that just to sell it in Germany, right? Like if you're a small studio, if you're an independent filmmaker, if you're someone tiny, you probably won't get like 2,000 euros of sales from doing business in Germany, which is why Steam just automatically bans it. So like if you try to sell, I think it's just mature games. If you try to sell mature games on Steam, they're automatically banned in Germany because of this. What if we pay you? Would you care that? Well, if I pay, then it's a business transaction and it's different. No, but I already tried to explain to people, like, moral busybodies only work if, number A, people share your morality, right? Like if a leftist comes to you and calls you a racist, and you don't share his morality, and you don't give a fuck, his moral busybodiness has, like, no grandstanding. Like, you just don't care, you know? And it's the same thing, like, for an atheist when a Christian starts lecturing him. It's like, unless it's part of the same ideology, unless you have the same values, you just don't care. And the second thing is lecturing people that you don't know. So we're talking about strangers, right? It's not part of your family, not your co-workers, just someone that you're a stranger. When you lecture them, it's the same like asking a stranger for cash and then complaining that they don't want to give it to you. It's exactly the same shit that's happening. So moral busybodies are just noise. They're very annoying. And eventually people do tell them to fuck off. And this is like the way you can tell if a moral busybody is justified or not. When you tell him to fuck off, how do you feel about it? Like, you wouldn't tell fuck off to your mom, right? Because she's your mom. You wouldn't tell it to your boss. You wouldn't tell it to your wife. And the reason is like you actually care about the relationship. You actually care about those people. So even when they say something that upsets you, you're still willing to keep your mouth shut and to maintain decorum. But when it's some random twat that you don't know or care about and they tell you how to live your life and you tell them to fuck off, there's no consequences. So that's the perfect benchmark to tell if a person is actually a moral busybody or someone justified in giving you good criticism. At least the Christians want your soul saved. Oh, in theory. There are many Christians that enjoy judging people. And the reason I'm saying this is like the God warrior that we talked before, right? She immediately switched to LGBT activism. She just switched to a new ideology which allowed her to judge people. Like, for them, Christianity isn't like saving their souls and having a relationship with Jesus. No, I mean, if you read the Bible, Jesus even says that you should pray in your own cloister where people don't see you do it. Like, the relationship with God should be a personal one. But these individuals want the entire fucking world to know. And they think like they are entitled enough to judge others when in the Bible it says, do not judge others lest you be judged. I bet they're going to I bet they're going to judge God at the judgment day. I bet like they're going to tell God, it's like, oh, your robe isn't fine. It's a little bit messy. You know, these are the people that are obnoxious. And not all Christians. But my God, the minority. I would tell anyone to fuck off if they start moralizing at me like the left does. Well, I already tell the left that. Yeah, they want the feeling of superiority, yes. Jesus also said to judge righteously. Do you think like that God warrior has the capability of judging righteously? Maybe she should be humbled a little bit. Bible says, judge yourself as you judge others. My fucking God, am I reading from a wrong Bible? Even if that's the case, the people that I know that are moral busybodies often do not judge themselves at all. Like seriously, when you get my age, when you're around the age of 40, you start to realize that the people who mind their own business are more virtuous than the ones that don't. Like, the people that just focus on themselves and their family are usually just wholesome people that are loved by their community. And the ones that are the more preachy, the ones that tell you how you should live your life even though you never ask, those ones end up committing shit that horrifies others. Glad you're okay, V. Hope you enjoy your day with little to no madness in the way. Oh, by the way, Donald Trump is supposed to announce his vice president today. I wonder who it would be. He's got like two choices now. He can either pick someone that's like has a MAGA tattoo on his cock, and he is going to be the guarantee that he doesn't get assassinated, because then you get that guy. Or he can pick someone that would attract the neocon vote. You know, like some Nikki Haley type. Not her, but like someone like her. So that the people in the Republican Party that wouldn't vote for him would. I don't know. Both are possible. Both are possible. I don't think it will be Vivek. A lot of people say that. It's possible. It's possible. I also think it may be like a no-name. Like someone that most people didn't think about. I wouldn't be surprised if it's an evangelical person now. Right? So like a very famous person within the evangelical sphere that's not like very renowned outside of it. That could be a pick. I don't know. We'll see. Vivek is a possibility though, right? Like he would guarantee that he doesn't get assassinated, because then you get Vivek. Which one would you rather deal with? Preachy Christians or preachy leftists? Probably... Like, they're both in different ways. Fuck. Look, my life is simple. I just want entertainment. I'm not a difficult person. I want my video games back. I want my Mass Effect. I want my anime to have gore and blood in it and fan service. That's what I want. And both those people would take that away from me. what have I done not to deserve my sexy video games? Like, what have I done wrong to not be allowed to play my lesbian romance in Mass Effect? How have I sinned? How have I not given enough to this world? I have been in the hospital. I have healed people. I have saved human lives. Why is it that I do not deserve to have happiness? Why do they want to take the Stellar Blade away from me? It's the only thing that I want. It's hurting nobody. It's in my fucking bedroom. It's all I want. It's just like, is it so much though? Is it so much? Both the left and the right desire, like, covet that away from me. And if they take it away from me, they're not happier. They don't give like a shit about what I do after that. It's like, this is the only thing that I want. But no. No, it's just... Can you imagine if Donald Trump has Gargura as vice president? Like, that would be a troll. No, like, my favorite thing is I really like annoying people with this. But it's like, V, you're married. And it's like, what business is of yours, though? Like, if my wife is fine with it, why do you care more than my wife? Why do you think that you're more entitled to my marriage than my wife is? Shut the fuck up. Let me play my video games. Yeah, they hate everything that makes people happy. It's like, go outside. You know what's outside? In Romania, it's fine. But like in Chicago, not so much. Not everyone should go outside. Yeah, that would be the epitome of trolling. No, I'm not going to have a talk with Dev. No, I am done talking with Dev. It's not that I'm on bad terms with him. It's just that I don't want to talk politics with him. Like, there's no discussing politics with Dev. They're just like, it is what it is. I really like seeing Gargura at the ball game because it made people absolutely insane. And it's like, okay, so like Shark bad, right? Now I get why Shark bad. It should be Disney. It should have been Looney Tunes at the ball game. It should have been an American production. But unfortunately, the American production now are the, what do they call them? The Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, right? That is an American production. So now you gotta choose. Do you want Shark Girl or do you want the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence? And apparently, like, a lot of right-wingers like, no, Shark Girl bad. Okay, then take the Sisters of Perpetual fucking Indulgence then. That's what you get. What you get. Because you don't, like, they don't have the balls to go after the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Because then they get fired. Then they get fired. It's like, oh, people on Twitter mean to me. Oh, I see. Okay, then, well. The Shark Girl is popular because America doesn't produce any more entertainment. Everything Disney makes is shit. Everything Netflix makes is shit. Video games don't even work on day one. So you get the Shark Girl. That's what you fucking get. You get the Shark Girl and you get your wet-ass pussy music videos. That is America right now. But you have like some right-wingers that like cling to a vision of America that just doesn't exist. And they, every single time there's like a culture that's like trying to like replace the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, they try to crawl it back down. It's like, okay, well, get your fucking sisters then. That is why my grandparents, when they said, hey, yo, it takes 6 months for you to mind your own and another 6 to leave others alone. Best advice, yeah. Restraint is needed to give advice in moral aspects, not talking about moral things, list to California streets. I understand your addiction, V. We are here for you. Man, everyone needs a fucking addiction, okay? And the biggest moral busybodies are the ones addicted to fucking food. They are massive corporeal manifestations 9 out of 10 times, coming there like causing an earthquake as they walk up to you, and then they start preaching morality. And it's like, man, shut the fuck up, you know? I have yet to meet a person that's not addicted to something. If they're not addicted to video games, if they're not addicted to social media, they're not addicted to junk food or some other shit. But like, Their addiction is great. Their addiction is pious. It's from God. You know, their addiction is absolutely 100% godly. Your addiction is bad. You know, that's the problem. And luckily, they managed to see it and catch it just in time to save you from your addiction. God, triggered. Reminds me of my teenage formative years. Can we not become Matt Walsh clones? Oh my goodness. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, like Matt Walsh, at least, you know, the way he presents himself, assuming that's how he is in real life, his lived experiences seem to be Jesus, fishing, and grilling. And everything outside of these experiences is evil, and it needs to be fought, right? So, anime, he doesn't understand it, thus it is evil. All jokes aside, I genuinely believe like he hisses. I think he hisses when he sees the Gargura on the baseball or whatever the fuck. Appreciate people's support while we were making a manga. Yeah, Matt Walsh hisses at your manga. And it's the other thing. It's like, just get married, bro. It's like, okay, so after you get married, like what? Do you not have hobbies anymore? Do you like change as another person? Like, do you stop playing video games? It's like, the thing with addiction is like, how much do you allow it to control your life, right? Like, if you play video games 3 hours a day, it is fine. If you play video games 12 hours a day, it's not fine. It's the same with food. If you eat healthy, it's fine. If you gorge yourself 24/7, it's not fine. Please read below censorship. Alright. Zanothium, am I ready? Gura on baseball is the Japanese helping baseball get revitalized since the US gave it to them like that in old age. I don't understand why people make such a big deal of Gargura singing at the baseball event. Like, that was supposed to be Mickey Mouse, like some Disney production on the big screen. But instead you get Gargura, okay, and she sung a very popular song, and then, like, she's gone, and there's some merchandise. Like, how is that worse than the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence? I still don't get it. Shargirl singing was wholesome compared to the government-approved elementary queer studies. Matt Walsh maybe play a character. Yeah, it's just like, I don't get it. It's just weird. Zanothium, I'm still trying to read below, but there's like nothing you wrote. Is he getting censored constantly? No, I actually don't play that many hours of games. I'm making 4 YouTube videos and a live stream. I genuinely do not have time to play anything. Baseball and anime has 2 different audiences. But do they need to have 2 different audiences? Like, is there anything that Gura did while singing that is so foreign and alien to the boomer? Because I saw the scene and there were a lot of people enjoying it. There were a lot of people clapping. Right? How is it different if, like, a famous... I will tell you exactly what happened with Gargura singing. Alright? So let's watch it again. And then I'll finally give you the best commentary on the fucking internet about this.
Când vine momentul grătarului, ai nevoie de carne suculentă.
Okay. If this was 1990s, what would you have here? You would have a famous actress, right? You would have a famous singer going there and singing. Now let's look at modern American culture 2024. Who would you pick? Would you pick Lizzo so that she twerks while singing, while wearing your heirloom flute? Would you pick the lady that sings Wet Ass Pussy? Who would be the actual singer that would be famous enough to get this reaction out of the people? The answer is no one. You fucking have no one. This is why you get Gura. Because America doesn't produce entertainment anymore. It's not that Gura is that amazing. She even didn't manage to keep the notes properly. Like, there are videos of famous musicians debunking her song and saying, like, well, she didn't sing it properly. I don't fucking... If you don't want Gargura, support an alternative. Support something that's better. And if you can't, then shut the fuck up, because this is what you get. People are watching this because there's nothing else to watch. And this is why, like, there are no actors that are famous. There are no musicians that are famous. There's nothing. So you either get this, or you get Mulvaney. This is what America is like now. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. Right? I even made a video. And I said, hey, instead of Gargura, it should have been Superman, or Batman, or DC Comics, or something like that. A Supergirl, a Chile. There's nothing. Nothing. Lolly is gross, though? Then get something better. Get something better. I don't care what. Create something. Get your Xena Warrior Princess. Get your Buffy Vampire Slayer. Get some shit. I don't know what, but make something to compete with that. It's a free market. Like, moralizing people that they shouldn't like that. You're not going to get them to like something else. Unless you create something else that's better. Puts on wig and lipstick. Young man, I'm not against you playing the games. I'm against your taste in games. Like all hobbies, I have to disapprove of other tastes. Now I set myself on fire for cross-dressing. Oof. Thank you for the $10, Glow in the Dark. If I chill, I'm not entertaining. If I'm not entertaining, you tune off. Let me alone. I'm not supposed to chill. Lolly implies that it's sexualized. The reason that I like Gura isn't because of her VTube character. Like, I don't care. You know, as long as it's an anime girl. My favorite one was Amelia Watson, and she got big titties. Like, it's not about that. It was the talent that actually attracted me. Because when she came out, you had, like, all these other ladies on Twitch. And all they did was, like, poker face and kissy lips. And they had absolutely no talent. They couldn't do shit. And then you have, like, the HoloLive girls coming up. And they can sing. They do karaoke. They can draw. They can play video games. They can entertain a chat. And I was like, okay, well, these are actually talented people worth watching. And for half a year, myself and my wife were watching, you know, them doing Let's Plays and stuff. And the thing that I loved about Amelia Watson was that she was actually toxic. Like there was this huge push in order to sanitize Let's Plays and entertainers, right? So, like, you couldn't curse, you couldn't say anything toxic, you couldn't shit talk, you couldn't do anything. And now you have, like, these girls which were from HoloLive, and they actually managed to have a corporation that gave them more security, that they won't get banned from social media. And she was smashing her keyboard. She was cursing. And I was like, okay, yes, this is an actual gamer. This is an actual human being behind the fucking avatar. I can relate to that, you know? Like, compared to others that were being pushed in esports, and they were, like, incredibly poker face, and they never get angry, and they never get annoyed, and it's like, no, these ones were losing their shit. And I was like, okay, yes, like, this is entertaining because it's actually relatable. I, too, have played video games. I, too, have lost my shit. I want to see more of that. I'm not going to sing the Defanian National Anthem Nightmare. I'm not. So, again, the reason that they were popular is due to the fact that there was no competition. There was zero competition. So now you have people, oh, this is gross, this is disgusting. Okay, make something that's not, but make something that's good enough in order to attract people. I gotta say this, when I was growing up, people didn't give a shit about anime. They hated anime. I remember, and I said this on a lot of streams, but I remember, you know, finding Digimon and Dragon Ball at the time, and I was trying to get other people into it, And I was like, hey, do you want to watch this? And they were like, no, it's shit. And it's like, why? And the reason they didn't like it is because they had Stargate, they had Battlestar Galactica, they had Andromeda, they had Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they had like all these awesome shows like Prison Break, right? And like all these awesome shows, like they BTFO'd anime out of the fucking water. Like the actual entertainment that America was producing was monumentally better than any anime out there. So anime was fringe, even though like at the time that the anime from back then was much better than the anime now. It had more fan service, it had more violence, it had better storylines, and it actually got to season 2, and then it got to season 3. So like the anime then was much better, but people didn't care about it because the American entertainment was so much superior. Nowadays, I can't even say American entertainment. There is nothing. The last thing that I saw was Breaking Bad. And after that, Better Call Saul. And with that, it was over. What do you have now? You got The Boys. Oh, you got The Boys, right? Where a man manages to shrink himself and goes into another man's pee-pee. Where you get to see big cocks in Dragon... What is it called? House of the Dragon. Right? That's all America does. Like gore and fan service for men. Sorry, fan service for women and gay people. That's it. Just like massive gore everywhere. Just gore. And it's like complaining that, oh, why is Gura famous? That's why it's famous. Because you got nothing. Yeah, I mean, all those shows were soft compared to Piccolo losing an arm. I mean, Dragon Ball was very violent. Dude, you got like Frieza impaling Krillin with a horn. And then bouncing him on his sword, much to the shock and dismay of the evangelicals at the time. There's plenty of anime with fan service and violence nowadays. I just don't know what is it about them, but they're not as good as the ones in the past. I just can't put my finger on what it is. Maybe I was younger. Maybe I was interpreting things differently. But back then it was better. V isn't against alternatives if they're good summary. What? I didn't get that. Trump has picked Vance. Who the fuck is Vance? Hold on, let me look. J.D. Vance. Who is J.D. Vance? I think I know him. Hold on. So, J.D. Vance. American politician. His memoir is Hillbilly Elegy. But early life. Early life. This is what I want to see. It's like the first thing on Wikipedia. Early life. Parents divorced. Adopted by mother's third husband. He's got a good early life, chat. He's got a good early life. He was in the Iraqi war. Economist, blah, blah, blah. The Washington Post called him the voice of the Rust Belt. The New Republic criticized him as liberal media's favorite white trash splainer. The false prophet of Blue America. Economist William Esterly, a Western Virginia native, criticized the book, saying sloppy analysis of collections of people, coastal elites, fly over America, Muslim immigrants, people without college degrees, you name it, has become routine. It's killing our politics. Okay, what laws did it do? Defeated multiple candidates, blah, blah, blah. He was criticized for his delayed response to the train derailment in East Palestine. His office released official statement in February. He endorsed Donald Trump. He opposes abortion. Okay. He has indicted that he may support a federal ban on abortions after 15 weeks. He has more recently said that the laws should be set by the states. I believe that marriage is between one man and a woman. Okay, like this is the ticket to make sure that Trump never gets assassinated. Proposed a bill that would make gender-affirming care for minors a federal felony. Block taxpayer funds from being used for it. Under no circumstance should doctors be allowed to do what he calls a gruesome, irreversible operation. He is big on border security. Supported the wall. This led to political opponent Tim Ryan saying that Vance was endorsing the white supremacy great replacement conspiracy theory, according to which there is an effort to replace Americans with immigrants. Horrible. In 2023, Vance introduced a bill that would make English the top official language in the United States. Oh my God. Foreign policy. Vance said that the U.S. did not want to pull out of NATO, but argued that U.S. should shift focus to East Asia and that certain European and NATO member countries are not spending enough for their own security. He is a vocal critic of U.S. military aid to Ukraine. He supports, this is very important, alright chat, listen to this. He supports the U.S. funding to Israel in the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. Child-free marriage? What the fuck? 2021, a speech to the Intercollegiate Studies Institute. Vance blames the childless left for America woes. Climate change. He downplays the effects of climate change. Oh my goodness. Project 2025. Does he want to ban my video game? He doesn't want to ban my video game. Perfect. I support. Sounds like Mike Pence, but younger. Yeah, he does. Looks good on paper. Yeah. Again, with this guy, I do not think that they will ever try to assassinate Trump again. Like, there's no fucking way. Yeah, he has no takes on video. That's excellent. I'm the only one that wants to ban your video game. But why, though? I put passion in it. It's with the passion. Why do you want to ban my video game? I need to make a show like that, America Has Talent, and present to you the staff that I hired to make the video game. And everyone has a touching story. Well, it all starts with my developer, who had a PhD. Has a PhD. No. Has a PhD, went to university, did great, was teaching Unity, and then he got replaced because diversity. I'm not kidding, like that's actually what happened. And I hired him. My Japanese guy, who's the translator, is going through a rough time, can't feed himself. I hired him. I give people money. And you want the project to be banned. You are so virtuous. You are so powerful. You're powerful. All jokes aside, though. I did choose a bad time to make a video game. Holy shit. Like 10 years ago, no one gave a shit. Now everyone is like, oh, but video games, but racismus, but does it have drinking in it? But does it have la cocaína? It's like, what the fuck? It's a video game. It's like so many rules. Yeah, a localizer, yes. Does he have a view on succubies? No. He's not Matt Walsh. Anyway, right. I did hire Zephyr. He actually made the story. I'll have to end it here. There's one more video that I need to upload on my secondary channel. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.